Thank you, Vassilios, for coming for this meeting.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity to host me and to have the chance to share with our viewers and your friends my vision, my ideas on the local government and the reform.
So can you explain to our viewers about the reform we face?
Yes.
And what will be the difference?
Well, the reform has been formulated by the House of the Parliament in 2022, and the major change of this reform, there are three bills actually on this reform. One is the establishment of a brand new entity. It's called the Provincial Self-Government Organization. The second is it has to do with all the communities and the idea of having clusters with 8 to 10 communities each cluster, so they can plan together their development. And the third, of course, has to do with the concentration of some municipalities and unifying some areas. So, for instance, in Limassol, we are going to have 4 municipalities now: the metropolitan municipality, the central municipality of Limassol, the municipality of Eastern Limassol, the west side of Limassol, and then Polemidia. So 4 municipalities. So this is merging a number of areas just to have a more, let's say, not only centralized control, but to have more synergies, to have economies of scale in order to be able to serve the citizens in a more quality way, faster, and citizens could experience a much better service. But the major change in this reform is the establishment of the self-provincial government organization, which practically will be an organization that will have under its responsibility the licensing of development, the building and permits, construction licenses, water supply, sewage, and the treatment of solid waste. So all these major responsibilities that constitute the development of the town or the district will be transferred from the central government or from the municipalities to this organization. And the reason that I'm a candidate is because for the first time in Cyprus we are establishing a public organization that the head, the president, is elected. Is not appointed by the president of the republic or appointed by the ministers. Is elected directly from the citizens. It's going to be purely autonomous, and it's going to be self-funded. So these are major changes because you don't rely on the budget of the government. You can be more flexible in reaching decisions, so you can much more easily apply your strategic vision. Plus, I can tell an example of how things are changing. Now, if you have one government department, the revenues that will apply, or if you collect the taxes from the citizens, all this money go to the central, to the central government, and it's up to them how to allocate the budget of next year's. In this organization, the money collected from taxes, tariffs, utility bills, they will be reinvested in the organization. So if for instance, you want to prioritize the licensing of development and you want to recruit more people, you have the flexibility next day to open, let's say, to have a vacant post and to publish, a notice to recruit people. You don't wait for 2-3 years for the government to approve your request and to proceed. So you are flexible how to manage that. And for me, this is a great opportunity to establish a public body that is flexible, that is European, has some very good European practices that will introduce a new, let's say, relationship between the public organization and the citizens, a relationship built on trust, a relationship with the primary principle being to serve the citizens and not to exercise power on the citizens. It's a new concept. That's why I put myself into this, let's say, into this, I must say, adventure to be a candidate and to present my vision to the citizens, because I would like to see something really new. I would like to see a public sector that is supporting the citizens, is next to the citizens, is not just opposite to make their life difficult with bureaucratic practices, but to be a real facilitator to the development of the town, of our communities.
So let's talk about congestion. I think everybody is facing this problem in Limassol. What do you think about how to make life easier both for the pedestrian and for the drivers in Limassol?
Well, this is a huge problem indeed. If you have a poll with 100 citizens of Limassol, I'm sure 99%, if not 100%, they will say the first problem is congestion. And you hear from different people, even candidates, different prospects, ideas, how to let's say reduce congestion or to eliminate congestion. My vision, my idea and suggestion on this, how to reduce that problem, is not, let's say, it's more holistic. I mean, we will not solve the problem just by taking some actions addressed only to the city.
Or put penalties for
yes.
illegal parking.
No, I believe that we need to have a holistic master plan, not only for the town, but for the communities. You cannot just plan how to reduce congestion without taking due account on the periphery and how the periphery could support this problem. So I see two major issues in the province of Limassol. I see congestion in the town, and I see the need to develop and revive the communities, and the solution to these two challenges, it comes first of all when we talk with the communities. Communities, they need to bring more life there. We need to attract people to live there. We need to attract business to go there.
In the periphery.
In the periphery. So periphery, we mean the 88 communities of Limassol that are outside the 4 municipalities. So in this is a great opportunity with the reform now, because we have the sort of clustering of the communities. So the 88 communities of Limassol will be split into 8 clusters. Clusters, we mean a group of villages, a group of small communities of 8 to 10 villages, that they will be obliged to prepare a common master plan on their development. It will not be as it is today, that each community forms its own plan and then knocks the door of the government to ask approval and then to ask money how to implement the plan. And at the end of the day, they question the credibility of the government because there is no money to support this. So the cluster will be asked to form a holistic plan for each cluster. So what the president of this organization could do to help them, I believe, from the initial stages of the planning, we have to present to them some basic and very important conditions and provisions. For instance, I mean, it's important for them to know that if they plan like if they plan like this, they might not have any EU funds available. If they plan differently, we might have some EU funding opportunities. So they will know before they plan some basic information on what to take into account. So the importance is to provide them the guidance to plan, knowing what money they could attract and secure from Europe, not from the taxpayers' money of Cyprus, but from outside sources.
From structural funds.
Yes. And then if they attract funds, if they will be able to attract funds, this organization could also help them to draft an EU proposal to participate in EU competitions to attract and secure these funds. So first, we help them how to design and plan their development. We assist them how to secure this money, and then if they have the right planning, they have the money available, then the elected president of this organization could knock the door of the central government and suggest to the government the following: okay, you want to attract new businesses in Cyprus, okay, and you present to them some incentives. Okay, they can have their offices at the center of the town with this package of incentives. If they decide to move 25 kilometers out of the center of the town, they can have triple incentives. So this is how, inevitably, you could attract business out of the center of Limassol. And if you manage to persuade new companies, but even the existing ones, to move outside, then you reduce congestion, because inevitably all the people working in this company, they will drive in the morning on the opposite side of the congestion. But what you achieve in the communities, if one or two big companies, they will move there, gradually next to them, you will see some other small business growing, like supporting services, like a bakery, like a mini market, like a cafeteria.
So you will create like a city. The more successful area will be like a Limassol city.
You develop sustainably and holistically each cluster. You attract business there, and if you attract business, you create small sustainable business communities up in the periphery, and then you reduce congestion. I think this plan is a realistic one. It might take some time, but we have to plan it now, because in 5 years' time, if this town will be, very difficult to live in this town with this congestion, and we will not have any other option. So it's important to plan now, knock the door of Europe to bring some money, knock the door of the government to give some extra incentives for business to go there. And at the end of the day, it's an absolute must to plan holistically. The same goes with the 4 municipalities. Each candidate for the mayor's position now presents its vision for its municipality. But the vision of the mayor of Limassol, is limited to the borders of the Limassol municipality, which starts, let's say, from Crown Plaza till the mall. When it comes to the eastern side of Limassol, the area of responsibility of this municipality starts from Crown Plaza till Ios Tichonas. So it's important that, in this country, to start making plans in a holistic way, bring everybody on board, because congestion problems are not limited to the area under the control of the Limassol municipality, but it's broader. So we have to do something together. We have to plan together. And for the communities, I can give you an example. Why licensing 4 pharmacies in one cluster of communities and 0 in another? We have to make sure that in each cluster there is one pharmacy, there is one petrol station, there is one ATM, there is one clinic, there is one mini market. So everybody that will consider living up there, they will know that in 5-10 minutes driving from my community to the next community, I can find everything. And this is how you attract also the younger generation to take the incentives and live there. Otherwise, we are going to end up in, the plan of intelligent transport systems, the plan to use public transport, these are equally important, but we need a plan accommodating also the needs of the periphery. You cannot just plan how to limit congestion only in the town.